Mind Balance Hypnosis.
Hi, Cliff. How are you?
Fine, Michelle.
That's
Nice to
good.
see you again with your
Nice,
questions.
nice to see you too. And of course, more people are asking questions, and I know I can come to you with some answers.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so the burning question that is going on this week is how can hypnosis help with depression?
The first thing that I do with clients is I find out their history. I have them fill out forms and we find out what's going on because a lot of times depression can be something they've experienced in life, something maybe they have way deep down inside that they've been holding on to that causes their depression. And so we want to get to the bottom of it. And also, if a client is working with a therapist, I'll call up the therapist and we'll discuss what would be the best action to take. And using hypnosis, what I would end up doing is that I could take them deep down into the thought process and I can have them actually talk to themselves and tell them and me why they have the depression and where it started and
Oh,
what they need to do to change it. Because, your aware mind is one thing, and it's going around going, I don't really want to deal with this. Let's put it aside. Let's bury this and everything. But when you get the subconscious mind to be in the forefront by using hypnosis, the subconscious mind is like, you know, the history keeper that knows everything about you. And so if you get the subconscious mind to start talking, you find out what is the core cause of their depression. And then what you do is you take that and you work with the client to work through the process to finally have some closure and to leave it in the past. And it's just an amazing process that people walk away from going, there's this gigantic weight just taken off of my shoulders. So, really, to round it up on what we actually do under hypnosis is that we dig deep down inside and pull up all the stuff that they're hiding, you know, and work with it. And, and as I said, get closure on it and lock it in the past. And my other suggestion, which I did an earlier video with you about post-hypnotic suggestions, is that the depression and whatever caused it in the past is not important to the present or the future any longer. And so we leave it in the past. And they just move on with their life. It's like
wow.
it's like cleaning out the baggage that they're carrying. And a lot of times people don't even realize they still have the baggage.
Wow, that is very interesting. And
Yes.
can that can that happen in one session, or is that a long term, like it takes quite a few sessions to
It,
go over?
it really depends on the client. And it
Oh,
really depends on what they have inside, what they've been through, what they've dealt with. And in the case where they've been seeing a therapist, the therapist sends the client to me and I do the really deep down digging. And then I send the client back to the therapist. And now the clients can talk about everything. And, so it's a whole big combination of just cleaning out that history. It's almost like a computer, you know. You get too much history clogged up in that computer and suddenly it starts slowing down. So you clear it out. You get that virus software going. You clear it out. That's what this is.
so is it almost like when someone goes back to their therapist, are they more open and they just talk more? It's almost, I know people use the word vomit. And so is it just like they really let their therapists, they just let them know everything, or and does the therapist ever get back to you on
Oh,
how
yeah.
they're doing?
It's funny. I've had some therapists get back to me going, I don't know what you did, but this guy is talking like he's never talked before. You know, it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
But
but that's
of course, we don't laugh at our clients, but it's still
yeah,
kind of
no,
funny that
no.
the therapist gets back to me and go, "What did you do? This is great. This is fantastic." You know?
Yeah. So that's very important too, to know that if you are talking to a therapist, that they can work with you. Like
Definitely.
you can help them kind of talk to their therapist more.
I have therapists, I have doctors that send clients to me, and then I send it back to them. So
Yeah.
let me tell you a story or two, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Yeah.
So this is a really interesting uh, case that actually happened. I had a client that came to me, and she was very depressed. And when she showed up in my office, she says, I really don't have any purpose to live. And I thought she was very suicidal at that point. And I said, okay, let's work on your depression. And so I put her under hypnosis and I said, go back to where the depression happened, where it all started. And I thought maybe she'd go back to be like a 13-year-old girl, and all this stuff. She suddenly starts telling me, I'm in the 1860s and I'm in this house. And my husband is fighting in the Civil War on the side of the South. And I put the baby down in the house for a nap, and I go out and I work on a garden. My mouth is going, wow, I never expected to hear this. But she went on and she says, and then when I was done working on the garden, I went back to get the baby, and the house was on fire. The house burned down, the baby died. And so then she told me that she committed suicide because she was so upset about it. And so I brought her out of hypnosis. And she says, was that real? And I said, I don't know. Was it real? She says, I could smell it. I could feel it. I could hear it. And yeah, my mouth was open kind of like yours, you know.
Yeah.
And so a month later, she came back and she had this glow about her. And she said, just one session cleared her depression completely. And a year later, she was married, she had her own child, just a totally different personality. So it's amazing. I didn't expect that to happen, but it showed to me that depression can be hidden from a long time ago. And so
That
we can work on past life stuff also, which releases the depression. And I know some people may be going, oh, I don't know about that. But I've seen it happen many, many times in my sessions where they've had to go to a past life to clear up their present life depression. It's amazing stuff.
that is, and you would never think it would be from one of their past lives. Like that
Right. And
that is
I didn't go into the session with that purpose in mind.
no.
But I tell them to go where they need to go. And they go, you know. It's amazing.
That's fantastic that you were able to help her and that it changed her life. So
Yeah.
that's great, and that's a big takeaway from everyone is that baggage that you may have had in a past life, that's maybe why they may or may not be depressed.
And I'm hoping that in the future we'll be able to actually accept the fact that therapy goes way beyond just your birth, that it's way in the past also. And if we can get that all into the big picture of therapy, just think how amazing that is.
Oh, it would be, you could help, or I want you to be able to help so many people because I know how powerful, how much it has helped me with my stress and anxiety. So if you can help people with stress, anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, then that's that's great. You like the more that people know, the better.
I'd like to actually be able to get more therapists on board with this concept so that they can expand the whole use of therapy. So maybe
Yeah.
in the future, who knows?
Yeah, yeah. So that's fantastic. So anyone who needs to get a hold of Cliff, you can go to mindbalancehypnosis.com and he can help you with, as you've heard a story, and I'm sure you have many more. Cliff can help you with depression, anxiety, stress, and there's so much more that I know you can help people with.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for your time and answering our burning question of the week.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.